Fantastic. Hello traders, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Yaroslav Burchenko. I'm a market analyst at Olymp Trade. And today we're going to talk about a very effective and easy to understand strategy.
Fantastic. Hello traders, everybody. Welcome to today's
Fantastic.
webinar.
Hello traders, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Yaroslav Burchenko. I'm a market analyst at Olymp Trade. And today we're going to talk about a very effective strategy and easy to understand strategy.
Hello traders,
Everybody, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Yaroslav Burchenko. I'm a market analyst at Olymp Trade. And today we're going to talk about a very effective strategy and there we go. Oh, when you have a million browser windows open like myself, you may lose track of some of the some of the sounds going on. So everybody, welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be talking about a very effective Japanese strategy. It's called the Japanese Classic. Now, let me go ahead and put it on my screen. I also want to direct your attention that if you get this error, so I have Euro Aussie dollar on the fixed time trade platform, and I go to my trading strategies to put on the Japanese Classic right here. It is, you'll get this message that this strategy is unavailable for the trading mode. What that means is that you basically have to switch over to FX. Now, as soon as I do that, if I go over here and I choose an FX pair, then I can easily and comfortably put on the Japanese Classic. Now, it's available to all of you guys. So here I had it earlier a little bit today. So what it does is it sets up the 1 hour right away, and then you have to put on the amount yourself. Now, I actually opened up a trade today on the Aussie CAD using this strategy, and I opened it up right here at the cross, and this is what we are basically waiting for. We're waiting for the cross of the two moving average lines that we have on the Tenkan-san and Fuji-san indicator lines. But I'm going to go ahead and move over to my live account. I wanted to show you guys some trades that I took earlier that were due to the changing situation, the geopolitical tension. So right here I opened up a trade, I believe it was only for 3,000, so my account was around 53,000, 52,000 I believe. I opened up a $3,000 trade, and the commission was only $64, and it was open for more than a few days. That's gold. So we had the likes of gold. Right when the war between Russia and Ukraine started, opened up a position for gold, and as you can see, it closed right on right around the top area. Actually, I could have stuck around for another spike higher, but that was like drawing a Fibonacci retracement line. That was around twice as much, and so I'll show you guys how to do that actually. So this doesn't figure into the price of gold, but it's actually a really important skill. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Fibonacci levels, and then draw them out from the bottom, or excuse me, from the top. So I was kind of figuring from this level and all the way to this level. So that's basically where I got the it's 2 times what the original impulse was, plus a little bit more, 61.8% more. So basically 2.5 times of the volatility of this initial, and if I actually draw it out a little bit bigger, which it was on the day that I opened it, you can see that the stop loss level was right around where we had almost the final spike. So that's how I use the Fibonacci retracement to give me an idea of where price would be when we don't have any support and resistance levels or previous levels that we can push off from. When we do have those levels in place, like I was showing you with the USD Swiss franc. So this was the currency that I had on my screen previously, and you can see that we're in a very tightly coiled channel. And so I'm aware of where that kind of reversal may happen. I'm aware of when the US dollar may change course. So getting to the Japanese Classic, which is a fantastic fantastic strategy. What we have on the screen is the Ichimoku Cloud. Drop down to the 1 hour graph. So the recommended area is a 1 hour graph. It's actually it provides for really low stress trading. And if you're using only one strategy, you're trading, maybe currencies, and you're aware of what a currency is doing, this is actually one of those strategies that you can pull out of your pocket, quickly go through your list of tradable assets and open a trade, because the entry signal is very cut and paste, and the exit signal is also very cut and paste. So what are we looking for? We want to be trading every time there is a cross of here I'll show you guys what their exact names are. The Tenkan-san, which is the yellow line, it's a 9-period moving average, and the Kijun-san, which is a more longer period moving average. It's about a month worth of trading. So I just wanted to say hello to all of our traders in chat. So we got Ajith TechCom. He was first in chat saying hello, everyone. Let me go ahead and turn on all chat messages. First day here to Wealth Visor Biz. Hello, welcome. Hello, traders from Vijal Raj, Hardy Haas. Welcome, welcome. So if you guys have any questions, as we have our friend Arcade Maxima, go ahead and write them in chat. I will spend a few minutes here and there answering your guys' question. But I want to give you the outline of what the strategy is, and then I will go ahead and have a look at the Asia Composite Index for Arcade Maxima. So the strategy uses a golden cross of moving averages, and it uses the change in trend for the here you can see right here, the Heikin Ashi candles is the form of candlesticks that we have on the graph. And so we use the Heikin Ashi candles to figure out when we're closing the trade. And so you really want a shift in dynamic. And then on top of these two signals that we have, we also have the shaded area, which is the cloud area. That's why it's called the Ichimoku Cloud. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the Chiku span right here. Oh, unfortunately, I don't have the option to turn it off. On your cell phone, if you're using a cell phone version, you may be able to turn off the Chiku span, because we don't need the Senku span or the Chiku span we do need the Chiku span, which is part of the cloud itself. So the Senku span and Senku span A and B, they formulate the cloud, but we don't really need the Chiku span. So what you guys can do is ignore it as it's on the graph. We can maybe try to color it something a little bit more. Oh, that's still really bright. So we're just going to ignore it for the purpose of the trade. What we're looking for is a very substantial cross, like these trading conditions right here in a flat. So I showed you that the currency is more or less relatively flat. So this is not an asset that is good to trade for this strategy. We want to find a trending market, or a market that is really close to a reversal. So we're going to have a look at the Asia Composite Index, because this is indexes in general, they tend to trend quite heavily. So as the US markets, you saw it has been in a bearish trend since November, honestly, November of last year. So what we have right here is a relatively trending financial instrument. And so you want to be trading when we are out of the cloud. So this is one of the important things that you need to check. So when you are writing your trading strategy, first thing you want to make sure is that we are out of the cloud. Like right here, you can see that we are high above the cloud, which was green, then it turned red, which was a signal that the move is becoming slower, that there is a slowdown in momentum, and we can expect, as a red cloud, you see how this area was flat, and this area slowly got higher and higher and higher. So this is an indication that we are likely going to change the trend. And so what we saw the very next day after the cloud crossed was a doji candle. A doji candle is another layer, another signal that the market is uncertain because price went nowhere, and in the end the volatility was so low, so the force between buyers and sellers was about even. And that usually constitutes that, hey, we were going one way, whatever that way was, we're running out of steam. Traders are running out of money, running out of desire to buy into it, and so what we can expect next is a sell. And that's when we have the first few candles of bearish momentum, of downward pressure. And so when you see those two candles and you're trading on the hourly graph, this is about noon. Noon is actually a good time to check, especially if you're trading the hourly, an hourly trading system, though. So once an hour, you're pulling out your phone and taking a look. You want to make sure that the candle closes before you make a decision, because one of the worst things you can do is have a look at a candle that was just opened, right? We just have a few minutes of the next hourly candle, and you don't want to be basing your decisions on that candle. So we have 3 hours of confirmation. The first one was a doji candle. The second one was a bearish initiation, kind of a bearish engulfing candle, because we're taking about, I won't say half, but the following candle really confirms that we're going down. And then, this is why I said this signal is reliable, this strategy is reliable, because after 3 hours of confirmation of downward momentum, only then does the indicator give us a trade signal. And the trade signal is a cross of the yellow line over the longer period moving average, the Kijun line, to the downside. The only problem here is that the breakout didn't finalize for another 4 hours. But I just wanted to give you an idea that when this indicator line breaks into the red indicator line, that's when you want to position yourself for a sell. And you can see, for those that would have taken the trade as soon as the candle opened, so as soon as those lines touch, that's considered a cross. But we need to have very trendy markets, like I showed you previously. Perhaps let me see if I can, because see how trendy this is? This is actually a really good instrument to trade using this strategy. So that's for Arcade Maxima. You can really see that this financial instrument is a good financial instrument to trade for this strategy, whereas the US dollar Swiss franc would maybe have not been such a good idea. So that's the entry point. The entry point was, where was it? The entry point that we had, I lost our area, 12 noon in February. All right, so we'll take this level right here as an entry point as well. So the indicator lines cross. You may open at the same time. Another thing, remember I said when we first have a look at the trade in general, we have a look at the Ichimoku Cloud, and that's the Ichimoku Cloud here, and it's pointed up, right? The Ichimoku Cloud is pointed up, not down. So when we do have the cross, it may take a while, and the while is we're waiting for the Ichimoku Cloud. See how this one, we want them to come closer, right? If the cloud is getting bigger and the indicator lines that form the cloud, they move away from each other, that's usually a sign that the strength or that the trend is likely to continue. But when the indicator lines, like in this area here, when they're coming closer together, that's a sign that the trend is going to shift, is going to change. Another signal that you can use for sure in this trade signal, or in this trade strategy, is when price itself breaks into the Ichimoku Cloud. That's kind of another confirmation. It's not the entry signal, but it is the confirmation that we are going to shift directions, and we're going to shift for, for good if you're trading something like the Asia Composite. So this was the area that we were looking at, a very short-term area, and you can see the market went relatively flat here between the 3rd of March and the 9th of March. The market barely moved, and it was in a channel. It was in a flat sideways channel, and that's not the ideal place to trade. But say you did open the trade here, when would you exit? That's another key element of this trade strategy, is when we have an end to the trend, and the trend finish area is dictated by the Fibonacci candles. So we had a row, we had a full series of bearish candles. The bearish candles finished as soon as we had this first, as soon as we have this first bullish candle, that's when you want to get out. That's when we close the trade. And so this entire area was actually would have made quite a substantial amount of money for you had you used that strategy. So let me show you guys some trades now. Let me see if we can find some entry points. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them in chat, please. So we have Toshan Sood. By the way, Shabana Khan, hello and welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a long time. One of our star traders, he actually appeared live in one of our webinars and shared his strategy. How are you doing, by the way, my friend? How is your trading career coming along? Write a little bit about yourself, how things are going. Toshan Sood, Golden Beast, welcome. Problem Go, Vinay Kumar, welcome. All right, let's get to trading. Absolutely. Looking for some entry points. So we had the cross right here. It was a very dirty cross, but again, we would have been in the trade already right now. So we are going to move on a little bit. You guys are probably going to be able to see. So I actually opened up on the Aussie CAD on my demo account that I showed you guys. It was in the negative because I opened up maybe in this candle right here. But again, the trend is only starting. I do believe in the Aussie CAD, like this is very, very overstretched, and you can see the cloud area is coming closer together. So if any of you do want to follow along, this would definitely be a trade, like a longer term trade. But do you guys see how we are coming up off the top of the channel? It's a very risky trade. You always want to look at a higher time frame to see what the global picture is, because sometimes when you're reading this close, right, when you're reading this close, it's hard to see how many paragraphs are ahead of you, you know, how many pages we got left. So very, very you definitely don't want to be going against the global trend. So back down to the 1 hour time frame, let's go ahead and finish with the Aussie crosses. Bitcoin is actually one of those assets that is also very popular right now. Like there's some serious volatility, and as you guys can see, the volatility is to the top side. This is one of the things that is very important to check out about Bitcoin right now. We're trading off of a very specific level right here, and it's tilted to the top side. So whenever we do have these really, really low hanging fruit, I would recommend buying it, because the markets may be pessimistic, and this is one of the reasons why, you know, the global trend for Bitcoin is to the bottom. But you know, assets like the US dollar, assets like gold, assets like oil, those things are going to grow. Now, as the US dollar becomes more expensive, Bitcoin becomes less expensive and gold becomes less expensive, you know, because they trade against the US dollar. But in general, Bitcoin is looking very, very promising as a safe haven during these uneasy times where we have, you know, a war basically going on in Europe. What is the ideal time graph to view while trading? Arcade Maxima, you need to be switching between the time frames. This is what I tried to get home to you guys, is you want to be looking, the entry signal, the signal itself where you click the button is on the 1 hour time frame, but you want to be looking for several layers of confirmation. So this trading strategy may only be one layer that you're looking at. You want to be looking at different, so here we have trading economics, right? Before going into the trading session today, I had a look at what's going on today for the US dollar. So I know what's going on in the US markets. I have an idea about the economy, the state of the economy, and a lot of the things that I trade, like Bitcoin, like oil, like gold, they're valued against the US dollar. And so having a little bit of background knowledge is also a good idea and is another layer. And then looking at the global picture on the daily graph, you know, that's another layer. Like I said, it adds to, it shows you a little bit more about the picture. So we see that Bitcoin really trades well around this level. So maybe even buying as we do have another. So here we had a sell signal actually right here was the sell signal, and right here was the exit signal. So if you want to be scalping within a few hours as well, this trading strategy does help with that as well. Now, before I let you guys go, any other questions you guys may have, go ahead and ask them in chat, while I myself personally am going to be looking for entry points. Now, notice how here we had one entry signal right here, which again ended very quickly, but still would have been profitable for you. And then another entry signal was right here. And this time, the Ichimoku Cloud confirmed that trade signal. So this is, I guess, the fourth layer, or maybe the first one, whichever you want to consider. This is another layer to the trading system that you need to consider. Is the Ichimoku Cloud going in the direction that I want to open the trade? This is very beneficial to look for that kind of confirmation because it's hard to go wrong. If you're trading against the global trend, it's very easy to go wrong. And that's why I didn't open up the trade for the Asia Composite Index, because we're kind of going in the opposite direction. I would even start, say, with the daily graph. Wow, have a look at the CAC 40. Now, this is for all indices. If we have a look at indices right now, almost all world indices are showing, except the Chinese, actually the Asia Composite. But we have a lot of indices and commodities as well. I'm talking about stock indices in the Western world. So we have the likes of and the U.S. markets. Have a look at this. The U.S. markets are not even showing a sign of a correction. If we had a correction in the French CAC 40, if we had a correction in the German DAX, we don't see this kind of correction in the Dow Jones. We don't see this kind of correction in the NASDAQ or the S&P 500. So the US markets are predominantly bearish right now. And so you guys can kind of guess what? The likes of the euro will likely follow as well. So if we do have some sort of cross for these in the short term, it may be a good idea to trade for the short term. So again, here we have kind of the short term outlook for the European markets. Let's see if there's any kind of clue that we have that they're going to fall today. Right now, I don't see, like, the last 3 hours have been relatively positive, so I wouldn't recommend selling just yet, but I definitely wouldn't recommend buying the European indices right now, if you know what I mean. So let's go ahead and go back to the list of all of our assets and continue down the list. So Ethereum, you know, Ethereum and Litecoin have been a lot more bearish than Bitcoin, and so I don't really consider them on par. If I'm mildly bullish for Bitcoin, I'm definitely looking for the other cryptocurrencies to be weaker, right? So that leaves kind of Bitcoin in the main spot. So there won't be a. So I'll have a look at gold right now. Thank you to Kishar Survey. Let's have a look at gold. Gold on the 1 hour graph is only showing us, but there will be a correction soon, guys. This is what you should keep in mind for gold as we finish kind of falling. And look, we already fell to here, and gold has already recovered. As this big old candle finishes, it's going to be a great time to buy gold, right? A lot as tensions escalate. Gold will continue to be a good safe haven, because I think the entire Ogbonna Monday, I'm really sorry to hear that. To you guys that are losing money, especially if it's like a lot of money, the main suggestion that I have, like we all went through this as beginner, there is not even a single, well, I don't want to say a single professional investment fund that loses money. But think about it right now. Think about how many millions of dollars professional hedge funds have lost investing in Russia. Now that the world, politics have changed, there are billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of write-offs. And this is something that can't be foreseen. So trading in and of itself, it's inherently risky. If you're doing this kind of for a living, you need to start small. You need to start with nothing at all. You need to start with the demo account. And only after you realize that you have some sort of proficiency, you have some sort of level, only then should you move on to add size to your account, to add size to your trades. If you're a beginner and you're losing a lot of money, shame on you, because you should not have risked so much to begin with, right? This is inherently a risky business. And so this is what you guys need to keep in mind. To those of you that have lost, scale back your trades. Start trading for $1. $1 only. If you can turn 1 into 10, or if you can keep that $1 for a week and then add few cents to it, then it would make sense to put more on the line, but not until then. So gold right now, I don't see an entry point for gold, as we're kind of really overstretched to the bottom. So I'll leave that as is. I'm waiting for the Ichimoku Cloud lines to cross. like this would have been a good entry point. I'm just going to continue down the list with you guys. We were at Bitcoin, Brent, commodity composite. Now the commodities, again, we missed this entry point right here on the hourly graph. But do you guys see how reliable this strategy is? If you can find a good entry point where we are trading in line with the Ichimoku Cloud, we have a cross of the Tenkan-san and the Kijun-san line, and we have several Heikin-Ashi candles that confirm a trend has started. How do we know that a trend has started? Right here, you guys. I'll ask you this question. So the commodity composite index, if we're not looking at the Ichimoku Cloud, how do we know that the trend has started? I'll let you guys answer in chat, and I'll quickly read any of your guys' question. So Yeshwanth Kumar is asking, is there going to be a quiz lesson for some trades? No, today is more of a live trading webinar. I know I'm not opening any trades, but there aren't any. The ones that I was looking at before the webinar have already closed, and so we're still looking at. Euro Aussie may be a good one. I actually think the Aussie dollar has lost a lot in value recently, and during the coronavirus pandemic, it was one of the strongest currencies in the market. I made a lot of money trading the Aussie dollar, so we may return to strength as it is a net exporter of all sorts of commodities. So gold and oil in large quantities, coal, they all come from Australia, especially when we have sanctions on Russia. So that's only going to grow in demand, and the Aussie dollar is going to grow from that. So I really don't see any kind of really good entry point. That's right. So we're looking. So Toshan Sood actually answered correctly in chat. From the Heikin-Ashi candles here for the what were we looking at? Commodity composite index. When we have a series of red or green candles, like this is a series that you can buy from. So right here is a buy signal. Guys, keep in mind that this can go both ways, this strategy. So right here was the buy signal, and then we had a few green candles that confirmed the trade, and so we stay in the trade. And then as soon as the green candles, they turn red, that would be the end of the signal. But the one more layer is, you notice how here we have a few spikes. There are spikes right here. That makes me worry. Those spikes make me worry. Whereas right here, there's 1, 2 red candles, and then the spikes disappear. There's no spikes to the top side. That means that this is a very good and reliable and strong trend. And that is another layer of confirmation that you should take this trade. Guys, there's a lot of stuff that I say during the webinar, and it may be a little bit sporadic. You should rewatch the webinar and write these things down. To me, when I started trading, I had a firm list of basically of actions that I take. It wasn't like today I'm gonna open it up this way. No, it was always, okay, I meet these criteria, I keep looking farther. It's kind of a way of system-based trading, and you know, robots do this very well. In fact, system-based trading is much better for robots, but a human being who can perfect trading a system strategy, he can actually alter the size of the trade as more and more layers of confirmation fit into the trade. And so in my experience, it was always a human that has been more successful in trading, whether it's portfolio management or whether it's trading rules-based, just using technical analysis. A human being can definitely make more money in a shorter period of time than a robot. A robot works on average better, like over the long term, it's more stable. You know, human beings can get sick, they go on vacation, yada, yada, yada. But in a short term, a human being can make much more money than an algorithm. All right, so can you look at for what is the condition for Brent today? Absolutely. Let's have a look at Brent. So we had that up here. Massive correction for oil, and this is actually really, really good, because if we draw this trend line that we're trading from, it actually, excuse me, it even starts from right here. If we draw this trend line across the bottoms, you guys can see how almost perfectly this this correction fits into the previous channel. So I personally am not like a risk taker. I wouldn't buy it right off here. But for Brent crude oil, we're waiting. See how this was fat and now we're getting smaller and smaller and smaller? And look at this. We have our first green candle. So if you were already in a sell trade, I would stop the sell trade right now. And what we're doing now for oil is we're sitting on our hands and waiting for the yellow line to cross the red line. But it will be definitely a really, really good trade because we have the oil embargo from the United States on Russia. We have Europe within an energy crisis where they're just going crazy, pulling out their hair. They don't know where to get energy from. They're starting up nuclear reactors. They're burning coal. So you can imagine that there's going to be a continuous demand. The only downside is that we are in a summer period, right? We're getting closer to summer, and so the western or the northern hemisphere, they need less energy to heat their houses, heat their offices, and to run their cars. So Thunder Eye is asking, sir, are there any assets on platform? What are they? I don't understand your question, Thunder Eye. Are there any assets? There are many assets on the platform for sure, and they're in different, like we have cryptocurrencies, we have stocks, we have indices, we have even ETFs. So there's a lot to pick from. There's a lot of information that you can find on this topic on our YouTube channel. So I want to remind you guys to definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. Go ahead and ring the bell and hit the thumbs up icon. It really helps me a lot personally. I get bonuses and stuff. I'm just kidding. I don't really get bonuses, but it lets me know that you're enjoying the webinars and the information at least is making you guys some money. And then we also have other social media pages that you should definitely check out. The Facebook page, the YouTube channels right there, and the Instagram page. You guys can follow that. Lots of different guides, topics on psychology. So definitely you want to check out those resources if you use them on the daily. So for Brent, that's kind of the outlook. The outlook for gold is very similar to Brent. Gold is very overstretched to the bottom. And looking on the hourly graph, this is like the right here you can see that the gold made an attempt to switch, but then the trend continued, and then the Ichimoku cloud got bigger. And so right now I would stay out of gold. Gold is very, very tricky, and like I said, as the US dollar gets stronger, gold will actually get weaker. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the Ichimoku cloud and draw a similar trend line so you guys have an idea of what we're working with for gold. Like, this is parabolic. This couldn't have lasted forever, and actually this is 38.2%. I bet you if I drag the Fibonacci level from here to right here, 38.2. Okay, so a little bit lower. We hit 38.2, reversed, and then broke through it. So yeah, but the initial correction was exactly 38.2, as you can see right here. I actually made another attempt and then went higher, but still bears took over. And so I'm going to draw a trend line from the bottom to somewhere. Let's get rid of the Fibonacci cloud. Boop, boop, and boop. So basically, we're not really too far off of where the trend line was. If we even go off of this, then we can even correct down here. This would be a much more healthier correction. Like, I personally would pile on gold if we drop down to the Ichimoku cloud or somewhere around this level. But honestly, I don't think we'll get that low. I think institutions like the Bank of, actually the Bank of Russia can't trade right now on the open markets, but other institutions that are, players for that bank are definitely going to pile on, and I think the price of gold should rise as well. And that's why we have a short-term hourly graph. As soon as we have a trade signal from the cross here, and then we have some sort of period of consolidation like this, that could be the best time to buy gold. I do want to open up at least one trade during the webinar. Let me go ahead and continue down the list. So gold, Forex, gold. Oh, stocks. Oh, stocks have not opened yet. Not yet. Trading will open in 10 seconds. So certain US stocks have really shown large signs of a reversal. Unfortunately, we're opening up with a gap down for Chevron. Perfect. Have a look at this, guys. Our first reversal. Now, we are in a down channel, and this is getting bigger, but the open for Coca-Cola is becoming bullish. I want to have a look at the daily graph. Okay, have a look at this, guys. This may not be a bad idea. A reversal right back, but on the daily graph, the sell is finished as well. So maybe, perhaps, Coca-Cola may be a good idea. So I'll leave it at plus 20, open it up right here, put on my stop loss at around right here. I would even say that I'll give it more berth. I'll give it more area to finalize. And I'm not putting up a take profit. I do believe that we'll finish, somewhere up around here. And I can even actually show you how I would draw that out, say if we didn't have that level. So we just take the top of that level and the top of this. I'll drag down the take profit right here. On a $300 trade, to make almost 100% of my trade is actually really, really good. So we have, 257 for this trade is fantastic. And that's the Coca-Cola trade. We'll leave that open. The stop loss is also fantastic. And I'll move that up as we grow into the territory, because what could happen is price will go up here and then kind of reverse from there. So another one of the things that I may do is take even the trade as low as here, and I think that may be even a better idea, because who knows, right? The U.S. markets are bearish right now. I showed you with the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones, everything is negative for those guys. So maybe certain stocks will outperform the market, and Coca-Cola has a very strong alpha compared to so FinViz is where you can go to find the alpha. And so actually the alpha is, the beta, it's called. The beta is how related it is to the market. It actually has a very low beta. So as you can see, the trade is already growing into positive territory for us. Or not yet, but price is above the area of where I opened it. So you can see right here, that was actually a really good trade. We found a good reversal, and this trade works really well for reversal patterns. Guys, I think that we're going to come to the end of the webinar. If I missed your question, so I see Thunder Eye going crazy in chat. Yeah, I don't understand your question, my friend. Unfortunately, sir, there are 3 new asset, Munch, Majantar, and Astro Index on platform. What are they? I don't understand the question. Like the new a new asset that we had is the an ETF. The SPY right here, the Spider S&P 500, which is the SPY, which is a tradable ETF trust of the S&P 500. This is one of the new assets. I don't understand what the Munch or the Mahanjantar is. Actually, there's a lot of new stocks as well. We have Airbus, Alliance, Paribas, which is an oil company in Brazil. Yeah, I'll leave it at that, you guys. So like I said, if there's a question that I may have missed, I don't want the webinar to drag on forever, please go ahead and ask that in the comments section below. I personally answer any kind of trading related questions, so you can ask the most difficult, mind-boggling question that's related to trading, not technical support, and I will personally answer that. Other than that, I wish you guys good luck trading out there. I hope this strategy makes me some money. The reason I showed you my gold trade is because this is the power of long-term trades. Like I've usually been live with really short-term trades for about a minute. Well, this trade is really long, right? It takes several hours, like can take a whole entire day to trade. So it is on the Forex platform. You can only use it on the Forex platform. That's an answer to your question, Thunder Eye. But yeah, keep the trades open for a few hours, wait for the end signal, the exit signal, and then go ahead and write in chat maybe next time how the strategy did for you. Because it's very important to let other people know, right? So that I guarantee you the amount that we trade will not, affect the market, so that you're not going to, spoof the trade for yourself if you say that, hey, it really works for you. Other than that, I wish you guys good luck trading out there. Thank you all so much for your time. It's been a pleasure. My name is Yaroslav Brichenko, and together with Olymp Trade, we wish you guys good luck trading out there, and see you all next time. Peace!